much better if we did not say no.
I'm not saying no, I'm saying, I want to make sure we've covered all our bases, yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Who do I let know? You're both pointing at each other.
Well, let's blame Charlie, but I'll take the responsibility.
Okay, can you write down your phone number?
Or Ralph
No,
Pocket,
May
yeah.
7th is the presentation.
Okay.
So that you said something we need to be at.
No, we're not going to the DOE
Pocket
presentation.
won't.
That's the
Do
same
we do
date as
that?
that.
That's May
Doesn't have
7th.
anything to do
No,
with
you're
that.
not going to that.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
me.
Yeah.
I had the date written down. so
Yeah,
I
it's
wasn't
just
sure.
I've been saying
Okay.
it, just to let you know.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? Yes.
Has there been any unsealed minutes released to the public at all?
When they're requested by individuals,
When
yeah.
they're requested?
Oh, yeah.
So you don't unseal them and then put them out for public view? You keep
We
them
have not
separate.
unsealed any minutes
Since what date?
since forever.
Aren't you supposed to unseal them at
We just found
We
this out
just, yeah,
recently
yeah.
that we are supposed to look at them and reseal them. In fact, that's under non-public, looking at trying to get a workshop together, because it can't really be a public matter. It's got to be non-public workshop, because we have to be able to vote on whether or not to reseal some of these minutes. And some of them may have to be resealed to protect people.
Some may
But
have
that's-
specific dates when they're unsealed, and some may have never had a date as to when they could be unsealed.
But that's the minute themselves, not a sealed minute workshop.
Well, but they're asking, I think what the board is saying is, when we had the workshop with Barrett Christina, we talked about sealed minutes, that was one of the things, and we said, you know what? It's just kind of been history
Right.
that we seal them and then we don't think about them again. And he said, you can just seal them indefinitely, that's a possibility. You can say it's sealed for a year, you can set a date and put a date on it. Or you can have a workshop, look at the minutes and decide, should this be resealed? Would this damage someone's reputation? You have to look at it, kind of weigh the pros and cons. If it's about an individual child in a small community, you would never want to
Right,
reveal
but then I would
that.
take off the word workshop, because a workshop should not be done in non-public. You can discuss sealed minutes in non-public, but you shouldn't be discussing a workshop in non-public.
Okay, why I'm calling it as a workshop, because it's strictly for us at the SAU or in the library.
Then it should be sealed minutes. Because for someone who doesn't know, that's gonna be very confusing, because someone's gonna see the word workshop and think that there's a workshop, when it's really, if it's got to do with sealed minutes, it should just be sealed minutes, period.
I think that's just semantics. That
Right,
You're just
it is.
trying to come
Simply
out with
semantics.
the word so that you know that the public will know that they're not invited,
Right.
but that the board is
You
meeting.
can call it closed meeting.
You
Yeah.
can call it a
We'll
closed.
call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't think, but I think just a workshop, people are thinking that, it's a workshop, which a workshop should be held in public session.
Not
I-
necessarily.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're dealing with
You
sealed.
could have a workshop with your attorney.
Yes.
That may be
Yes,
something
yeah.
you wouldn't want in a public setting.
Well, what, but if you're dealing, I just think it just adds to the confusion.
We'll call it something
It was
else.
just a poor word to use.
We'll
It's
use,
just semantics.
I apologize for that word, we'll look for another one. Anything else? Anybody else?
Yeah, what is the investigation procedure?
That's non-public, Steve.
But what, I see that, but what is that?
Wait till
A
non-public and we'll-
procedure shouldn't be dealt with in non-public either. If it's a procedure, procedures should be dealt with in public. That's the problem.
We're not dealing with any of those items under non-public and public.
That's probably another poor choice of.
Right, poor choice of words, but,
Because it isn't the investigation procedure that we're talking about, it's.
Well, right, that's,
They
I'm
probably
just,
should have just
that
started
adds,
investigations.
that adds to
Yes.
confusion.
They should have
Confuses
just come
people.
up their investigations.
Right, period.
okay, we'll change that.
Okay, so we're gonna cross off procedure and we're gonna cross off workshop.
Right.
Under non-public session, we'll make that public that we're doing that, so the public knows that it's A, investigation, and B, sealed minutes.
Okay, public? Okay.
Can I ask one other thing? How come there's no non-public from the last meeting?
They were
Because the
sealed, I'm
meetings were
going to give
sealed.
them to you, and when we go into non-public to read, and then they will take them to the SAU in an envelope, sealed.
But there still has to be non-public minutes.
There will be.
Just like the public minutes.
There will be
There
when
will
we get
be
to
when we get to
non-public.
non-public.
They were sealed.
If they're sealed, they can't.
They were
be
sealed, I can't discuss them until we go into non-public.
I didn't say discuss them in public, but there always is non-public minutes along with the public minutes.
Not
Why-
when they're sealed.
Why is this changing all of a sudden?
It says sealed minutes. Those are the non-public minutes, the sealed
No,
minutes.
I think you're confused, Priscilla. It says sealed minutes workshop.
No, we took off workshop.
Non-public minutes have
Steve.
always been out with public minutes.
Steve, when
Correct.
minutes are sealed, do not go anywhere. They are written and they are brought to the board meeting. The board reads them, reviews them, approves them in non-public session. They are sealed and Gail takes them back to the SAU. They are not to leave,
The SAU.
they're not to
In
be
fact, I
anywhere
take 'em
out
down.
in
Now,
the
Gail
public.
doesn't even
you
have
do-
'em.
Yeah, you do it. That's true.
Gail doesn't even have them. So,
Technically, we have been reading the public minutes first, and directly after that, we've been reading the non-public minutes.
right.
But precisely, we probably should have read only the public minutes at that point in the agenda. And when we got to our private session, that's when we should have read the minutes for the non-public, to be technically correct.
To be technically
Well,
correct.
But
I
because
think-
we have done them together, you may feel that that's the way we have to do it. And
Well,
it's
no,
not.
I didn't say that, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is, the way it's always been done is that there have been public minutes and non-public minutes. Now, Priscilla just said that they've never unsealed any minutes. So, are you stating that all the non-public minutes have been always sealed, or have they been always not sealed?
There's only specific cases. So last meeting that we had was a specific case where we made the determination that we needed to seal those minutes. Because we did that, they are not included in the non-public today. Okay, so let's say tonight, we will have a non-public session, and they decide not to seal them, just like we normally do, not to seal them, then they will be public.
And they will be
To be
written on
subject
here,
to-
non-public written.
Yeah, and then
Well-
they'll, it was an exception. It's just, it's unfortunate, it was your first meeting, and it was different than the norm. I
Right.
think that's the problem. It was your first meeting.
So all the rest of the meetings were not sealed, that's what you're saying?
I'm saying most of the meetings were not sealed. There have been occasions
Where
where
we've
we have sealed.
Right, but even though they're sealed, that's supposed to be recorded in the public minutes that they were sealed. Just the fact that they were sealed.
It was, wasn't it?
I believe so.
I don't
Did I
recall
send you that?
It
The
just says
non-public
non-public.
minutes were then sealed by a motion from Judy Mason, seconded by Vivian Macedo.
Well, that- but I
Was
mean-
unanimous.
Well, wait a minute,
This is on the minutes today? and it's-
right, but that should be after it comes back, that's up further,
The board came out of non-public at 9:40, and we
I
sealed the
thought there
minutes.
was farther in that Liz brought up there.
I sent those to
All right, there it is, okay.
Val because she wasn't in our non-public section.
Right.
So those are non. Okay, can I have a motion to go into non-public and state the reason and the RSA, please? Okay, I'll make that motion. And I have to find my right paper. RSA. Oh, come on.
91A3.
RSA 91-A:3, 2C, student matters or, and personnel. May I?
What about D?
And D, yes, consideration of acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property, or consideration of negotiation or pending legal claims or litigation.
D.
D. RSA 91-A:3-2D. Roll call.
Calenti, aye.
Mason, aye.
Pacino, aye.
Colback, aye.
Well,
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.